Oh, hi there. Good evening. Figured I hadn't made a video for a while. Why not make one now? Why not? Um, this particular subject is going to be about explaining why common believed sources of potential COVID patients would occur. Uh, in the homeless population's defense, I don't believe that they will be the main carriers in most parts of, well, Canada and to a lesser extent the United States. And the reason I believe this is not because they aren't a dirty bunch of bastards. It's not that they don't show signs of being physically ill. It's because their population tends to be a lot more disobedient to authority figures and is likely to, be uncleanful. Um, the government wants to control COVID 19. That has been made evident since day one. They've thought about viruses since long before they announced COVID. They knew about COVID 19 long before it became, mainstream repetitive news. And this includes Justin Trudeau and his sanctimonious righteousness and all those other people. I mean, it's easy to blame Donald Trump, but, it's everyone in the West's fault, really. But I'm gonna say this: it's the homeless population that typically does not wear masks on public transit or in other places where they're supposed to. They genuinely have an attitude about them, how they feel as though they shouldn't have to, and there are relatively normal people as well, who have a home to go to, food to eat, all those sort of things, whether what status they are is, it varies, who also don't wear masks and they have a different set of reasons. They may figure, well, I have difficulty breathing. I don't like this hot air in my face all the time. Like whiny little bitch problems. Um, I mean, some people do have difficulty breathing, and I have said in other videos, then there will be an alternative for you that allows oxygen into your body, such as a shield or even in extreme cases, an oxygen mask. Anyway, with the homeless population being more disobedient and things like that, it would be more difficult to control the spread of COVID 19 if the homeless population were to be en masse affected. Most people tend to avoid them anyway, and you will get the sanctimonious people going, "Oh, they're pouring out, down and out people. Why are you being mean? You could buy them a sandwich or something like that. Get to know them as people." I don't give one tinker shit about the homeless. I'll tell you that much. They stay the fuck away from me, and that's the way I like it. Um, in saying all that, most people are complying with the mandatory mask rule that's instituted in several places. The thing is, most of those people who use things like public transit or go into particular buildings where masks are now mandatory were doing those things before COVID 19. And with the advancement of computer screening and all that facial recognition, wearing a mask doesn't mean they can't build a blueprint of what your face actually looks like, or a fairly good idea anyway, and then compare it to previous data of your habits of where you would go, what particular times, and you know like your regular hangouts. There are cameras, as many cameras as you think there are out there. There are 10 times as many. And what does all this mean? Well, it's actually the Chinese Communist Party that was one of the big elements that pushed this idea, and it was a gift to the West for them being able to spy on people. They figure, well, if we see them ahead of time, then they'll stay out of trouble kind of mentality. It's a grading system on how well behaved people are and how obedient they are as far as complying with the compulsory mask thing, which is why they're not too bothered that there are, certain people who don't wear masks. Maybe it's the elderly, maybe it's the homeless, and they have their own set of reasons for that. They will obviously get seen as not wearing masks, and it'll go in the database as them not wearing masks. And the same thing will happen to the people who do wear masks. However, I do strongly believe that this virus is what they want to give to the people. Maybe originally they wouldn't have wanted it, but, the fact that we're actually getting it from the Chinese Communist Party anyway, regardless if we want it or not, the government is taking the necessary actions to implement it on a controlled basis to the populace so that we don't all, become dreadfully sick and perish, such as the native Indians with smallpox. Scientifically tuned? Yes. This may work. The scientific community is known for its great blunders, however. Well known for that. You don't have to ask me. Ask anyone with a reasonable sound mind of how the world really works, and you'll know that people screw up all the fucking time. And most of them not only don't admit it, they won't even apologize for it or anything. And government bodies that work for the pharmaceutical industry are no different. They're worse, as a matter of fact, because they don't want to get blamed for anything. They don't want to get sued. And this leads to corruption. Anyway, so you may go, okay, so I'm wearing the mask and I'm being documented as being obedient to the government's demand that I wear a mask in certain places. Okay, sure, their facial recognition technology can see that it's me. A lot of people still think that's an alien idea. It was actually a gift from the Chinese Communist Party because our own government wanted that technology long ago and has been striving for it for many decades. The ability to see and hear everything, almost be godlike. Because isn't that what politicians want? Because, godlike people, they always get what they want, don't they? So that's what people aspire to be. Some people, anyway. Rational people don't, but it doesn't always have to go your way. But you definitely don't want it to never go your way. That's for sure. So I believe that in seeing that there's a consistent population of people who will be wearing masks because they are told to, I believe they're the ones that are going to get the COVID treatment. Because their behavior is predictable. Their track record, as far as on the database goes, is well documented. And I have made videos where I've explained, look, it doesn't matter if you don't have a Facebook profile. It doesn't matter if you don't engage in social media. When you were born, you have a birth certificate. You are given a social insurance number. You go to school. Your name gets put in their files. You get your driver's license. Your face gets put on it. You get a job. You rent a house. You buy a car. All these things all get documented. And you think your physog, your face, Doesn't get tracked at some point in time, unbeknownst to you? You're living in a dream world, you are. It is an uncomfortable thought, knowing that they have this ability to store all the information about a person on on a remote device. They didn't quite have that power before, but they sort of did. It just took a few more weeks than it normally would have before the dawn of sophisticated computer technology. Anyway, yeah. What I'm basically saying is homeless people are as disgusting as ever. So, yes, keep your distance from them anyway, because there are many ailments out there that can simulate, or not simulate, but look like a particular thing like COVID-19. There's a lot of reasons why people could have a nasty cough, a phlegmy nose, all those sort of things. There's lots of reasons. It doesn't have to be COVID-19, but you can safely assume that it is every time. Just be safe. I think you're more likely to get COVID-19 from somebody who looks completely normal, somebody who's a fly on the wall. They're they don't make a big splash. They like to keep a quiet life because they're the people would least suspect. And it's not their fault. However, they're convenient vessels for expanding the COVID-19 underlying cases without drawing any attention. So, I'm not saying, be a narcissist and don't like anybody. However, it's quite easy to be that way because I don't like a lot of people, to be honest with you. I mean, you take a guy like Justin Trudeau, for example. I don't like him. I dislike him. And I would like to be able to trust him because you can trust people that you dislike. However, he's a snake in the grass. You can't trust them. But there are many people out there that you can trust, but you dislike them, and that's fine. Because trust essentially means that you know what they're all about. You know what they will and won't do. If they say something to you, is it the truth or is it a lie? Because somebody can lie to you, and if you know they're lying, then you can trust that they're lying. Like I can trust the government that is lying. So in that sense, I can trust them. To trust that I don't trust them. Yeah. Hilarious. Yeah. This whole facial recognition technology, again, no matter how sophisticated you think you've got it on your, most advanced iPhone or your top of the line video card for your computer, it pales in comparison to what the higher ups go. And, the food chain, it goes down in the bureaucratic world as well. You know, you can be rest assured that they're doing a lot of people watching, and we don't know exactly what they're thinking. Like I said, this is a theory of mine, a hypothesis. I could very well be wrong. However, fundamentally, I don't feel like I'm incorrect. And there's a difference between feeling like you're fundamentally incorrect or that you believe that you're wrong. It's all in the details. Well, yeah, I wanted to say that because, you know, there are a lot of people out there who think they're goody two shoes. They're doing everything they can, and maybe genuinely they are in a way. But most people are two faced sons of bitches, or daughters of bitches. They simply are, and one way or another, if you start talking to people, you're gonna find a few things about them that you don't like about them. That's called reality. So anyway, all that aside, I think I'm gonna tail this video off. I will talk to you people later, and have a good one.